It's also a bad war for China to fight because of the domestic economic situation in China itself. You've gone from a housing bubble, which burst, perilously, to a factory bubble, which requires you to sell the stuff that you make to your trading partners around the world, including, of course, the United States. So to what extent do you feel vulnerable by the trade war that has been raised by the United States?
First of all, China does not want to fight a trade war or a tariff with anyone, especially with the United States. However, if you look at the situation, the United States initiated the trade war. They imposed the trade war on China and the rest of the world. And the only thing China needs to do, which is the right thing, is to step up and defend free trade. And defending free trade is not just for the sake of China, it's for the sake of mankind. Now, comparing with any other country in the world, China is in the best condition right now. The piercing of the property bubble was initiated by the Chinese government. And after several years of restructuring, I think we've put the property bubble behind us. And China is highly organized right now, very much disciplined, and China can go forward with or without the United States.
Sorry to interrupt, Victor.
The United States are much better position.
Right. What I've been reading, Victor, is that actually, far from being organized, the Chinese leadership is panicking because the domestic economic situation requires you to sell your stuff abroad. And if you can't sell it abroad, you're going to have real problems at home because you cannot replicate your foreign markets with a domestic market where, Chinese citizens are just not prepared to pay the same amount of money or to spend any money on the stuff that Americans are buying, for instance.
I completely disagree with the proposition of your question, with due respect. I think ever since 2017, China has been readjusting its exports, and by now, China's export to the United States only account for about 13% of total Chinese export to the rest of the world. And China is now the largest trading nation with more than 140 countries in the world. Therefore, if you allow me to say one point, I think philosophically, we don't care if we are forced to lose out the US market. Why? Because we value freedom, we value free trade more than economic losses. I think the Chinese nation as a whole, being very much united, will be able to sustain whatever losses there are if we are shut out of the US market. But the quid pro quo is that the US will be shut out of the Chinese market. So President Trump and the US government need to ponder the real consequence of having China-US trade, bilateral trade, two-way trade, grinding to a halt. What will be the consequence for the American consumers? I think they will be panicking. There is no panicking in China at all.
Okay.